Hey, I'm Natalie Kolbeck, and I'm happy to have Joe Rotella with me today. He is an amazing crafter and artist from Ohio. His work has appeared in several magazines. He was a guest on Crafting at the Spotted Cannery with Joy McDonnell, and also on Scrapbook TV and the new TV show on PBS with Julie Pfeiffer-Balza called Make It Artsy. And he's also a plate ambassador. Hey, Joe, nice to have you.
Hey, Natalie, I'm so happy to be here.
That's so cool. Joe, I just introduced you, but why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your creative work?
Well, I always tell folks this is just a fun job for me because for full time I work for a software company, but I love making things. I love putting things together and building things, and I love tools. And so a few years ago, I did a project that was a time machine. It ended up in Somerset Studio Gallery magazine. And then like everything went crazy since then. And then I got to meet you, and here we are.
Speaking of the time machine, you also teach at Gen Con, don't you?
I do the largest gaming event in the world. It's board games like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering. And in about a 3-day period, I run 3 classrooms simultaneously, about 30 classes for 1,200 folks.
Wow, that's amazing. That's crazy.
But the work there is a little different than what you're used to because it's kind of nerdy. Well, the piece I did for Creative Jumpstart, it's a little bit geeky. It's a little bit nerdy.
I also understand, actually, speaking of nerdy, that you actually met Doctor Who.
I did there's lots of doctors, but I did meet one of the doctors, and I did a piece that was a Doctor Who themed clock. And he came to one of my classes at Gen Con and even signed my clock.
That's pretty cool. That's
It was amazing.
that is cool. So, Joe, you're full-time working as a geek too, right?
It's true. I know you thought it was lumberjack, but it's really geek. It's geek. Yeah.
You are a most adorable geek. So, what is your creative process? Like, how do you, you're working full time, and like, how do you make time, and how do you, like, when do you work on your projects, and what's your process usually like?
It's because I like to take stuff and turn it into other stuff. It usually starts with a trip to the flea market or the thrift store. And my partner, whose name's Joe too, he loves to shop. Loves to shop. So a good day for us is we'll get up, we'll go to a flea market, garage sales. But what's really, I know it sounds weird, but I can see something at a garage sale, and it sounds funny. I have to close my eyes, but I can close my eyes and suddenly think, oh, I know what I'm going to make with that. And then we buy it, and then it gets stashed in our house. We don't have a studio, so it's all over the place. And then a year or two later, I usually forget. I look at this thing and think, why did I buy this? What am I going to do this? But then if I can remember, I just start playing with it. And it usually, shifts over time. I don't have a studio, so it's probably the kitchen table, the dining room table, wherever I set up. One thing I think that's kind of different for me maybe than some folks is all of my pieces have a story. I can't really do an abstract, like, I'm not the talent that could put all that stuff colored together and be happy. But in my head, even if I don't tell anyone, it's like, oh, there was this, and then this happened, and that's why this is there. And so even my piece for CJS this year, there's a story behind it.
That's pretty cool. I like your piece. Are you going to tell the story?
Now, you want to know a little bit of the story?
Yeah.
Let's see. So the story for me was, in this case, I saw a plaid product that looks like faux stone, faux cement. And I instantly had a vision in my mind, and I was thinking about a castle made out of stone, and in long time ago, and there was a dragon who lived outside the castle, and he was so curious one night, he kind of tipped his nose against a window, and he broke the glass, and then he looked inside the castle. And so that whole piece I did for CJS, in my mind, it's a curious dragon. He's not mean, more like a kitten would be. Have to get in everything. And he just had to see what was in there. And he broke the glass, and nobody caught him. And he's just looking inside. And so that was my story behind the piece for CJS.
I love that. That's so cool. I never thought about it because You also did, you always did amazing projects for Creative Jumpstart. One year you did this wine bottle chime.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the
And
story? Do you remember the story behind that one?
I think I covered the wine bottle with an acrylic skin. Didn't I
Yeah.
use an acrylic skin? And it was all colors of blues and turquoises and greens, and I had never made a skin, so that was a miracle. And to me, that I was thinking, oh God, this is, out in kind of a fantasy, fantastical garden. It could even have been underwater, and the blues were the water, and then the noise that it makes when the waves are going by. And even if I don't tell anybody the story, in my twisted little head, there's a story behind every piece.
You should tell the story always. I love that. I think that's a great part of it.
Sometimes I even make little mini books,
Hmm.
sometimes just about an inch square, and they're attached to the back of the piece, and it's the little story.
That is
So
so cool. I love that. That is really cool. I didn't know that.
told anybody that they always have stories.
You should. So
Let me
speaking
show you.
of,
Want to see a piece with a story?
yeah,
Hold on, don't go
yes.
away. I hope this fits.
Whoa. Oh, that's your timepiece, isn't it?
That's the time machine that got all this started. But you can see that, and when you open it up, lights flash.
That is so cool.
But see the little man. His story is he's supposed to fix the machine when it breaks.
Can you
And
put it a
way at
little
the
bit more in
bottom,
the
he
middle?
has a chair to sit in, and he even has a little thimble with all the blueprints for the machine. So when he forgets about maintenance, he can look up the plans. So a lot of people just look at this and say, "Oh, well, that's cool. You set the dial and you turn the little crank." But in my mind, it's all about the man who fixes this machine.
That's so cool. I love this. You have a video out for this one, I remember.
I do, I do.
We
It's
should,
on my website /time machine.
okay, cool. I will try to remember and put the link out for everyone so that they can watch it. That's
I
really
don't
cool.
think I ever told anybody that I always have a story. You
No,
might be
you
the.
did not. And I think that's so amazing. I love that. So this year's Creative Jumpstart is about mix, match, and master. So I guess you mix, match, and master stories, materials, or what else do you mix, match, and
Yeah, no,
master?
I definitely mix and match. I'm not sure about the master part. So in this Creative Jumpstart, we used a material called balsa foam, which paints like wood but cuts like butter. So we used that material. We used kind of a texture paste from plaid. We used the stone. We even used shrinky dink plastic. So to me, that was about mixing all this stuff together to come up with a piece. Whether or not it matched, I guess our viewers will decide what they think.
I think
And
it matched.
master, I don't know. I'm still learning all the time.
I
I
love it.
play and see what happens, and then I play some more. I thought that was neat to combine, wood-like stuff and texture and shrinky dink and glass, and just see what we came up with. And it was pretty close to what I picture when I close my eyes.
That's pretty. I really love your project. I cannot wait what people are gonna say about it. In any event, you made me happy.
Oh, good. I think it's a struggle because for me, when I see, a lot of rock stars are in Creative Jumpstart, and to me, these are rock stars who are mostly working on canvas or some jewelry folks and stuff, but they're what I think of when I think of a real artist. And then I look at my piece and think, wow, this is not like any of their pieces.
You're a
Uh,
rock star in my book.
oh, you're so sweet. But I think the story is what's so cool.
It
Is
is.
you look at him now and you'll look at my piece and I hope people think, oh, I wonder what he does after he pokes his nose in the window.
Well, you said
Or
he's more like a kitten, so he's not gonna be evil.
we hope so. But what if the people inside are evil? Now we have a whole nother story. What if they decide they are scared of him and they don't like him? Sometimes we make judgments about people before we know them. So you shouldn't judge your dragon until you meet him. He might be friendly,
True that.
right? You never know.
That's true. I like that. Now I have to go back and watch your video again and see what my imagination will
Yeah,
tell me.
look in his eye and tell me what that dragon's thinking.
It's actually a good-looking dragon, I have to say. So, Joe, you have been with Creative Jumpstart for I don't even know how many years. Many, many years.
Oh, 3 or 4, I
I
think.
think four. That's your fourth time, probably, I guess. So, what do you like about Creative Jumpstart, and what do you think people get out of it?
Well, a little bit of it is selfish because I get so much from Creative Jumpstart. In the past, sometimes you assigned us what products we had to use, and that was a challenge for me.
Hmm.
Last year with acrylics, I had never made an acrylic skin. So when I made it on the video and said, I've never tried this, let's hope it works, it was true. I don't make that up. And this year, I thought it would be easier when you said mix, match, and master, do anything you want. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to put together for this? And what am I going to come up with? And then suddenly, the dragon popped in my head. So I love the challenge for me. And I love how the people who participate, some of them are incredibly passionate and interactive. They send you a message, they ask questions, they comment. Sometimes they post that they made something using something you showed. And I like that. I think that's what I like the most about any of this stuff is the community.
Hmm.
Like, look, I met you and I love you and we laugh and I'm hoping you come visit and stay at my house. And to me, that's the best part. And I learn stuff from you all the time. I'm always learning. I learn from all the people who participate in CJS. They figure out how to do something better or different. And some of them say, well, Joe, it's lucky that worked because you did it wrong. This is the right way. But it's okay because they're
Right.
nice about it. And they're all just trying to help everybody. I like that saying, a rising tide raises all ships. So if we all work together and help one another, and that's what I think CJS is all about, is the community. The
Hmm.
projects are great, the artists are great, you're great, but it's the magic when you put all that together for 30 days about what happens.
Yeah, I agree. That's for me the magic too. It's like when you see how everyone is like participating and see the first like projects popping up, and sometimes it's like inspired by just one project, and sometimes you see how people are like mixing all the different projects together, and
Yep.
that is just the coolest, and it gives a creative jumpstart back. I think like it's.
And it's growing. You're getting a
Mhm.
huge reputation because this year, I send some Christmas presents and I had some friends who said, I really like what you've always done in the past, but this year I would really love a creative jumpstart.
Aw,
That's really cool. I
that is
mean,
cool.
because then the community's growing and new
Right.
ideas are coming in. So I think it's really cool. And I am very interested I would love people to post and let me know what they think of my project, partly because I think it's so different. I bet there's none other like it in this year's
Nope.
CGS.
Nope. It's very different and it's exciting.
And I think, I was excited, Natalie, because you said, oh, I've never worked with that plaid, I forget now what it's called, but it's like a texture paste in an icing bag. And that was great because just seeing the video made you think about, could I use that? What could I do with
Yep,
that?
I have it here. I will try it soon. As soon as
But
I
now it jump started you just a little bit, even
it
though
does
now,
always. All of your videos always jumpstart me. Like I got the balsa wood that you use that I have never used.
yeah, yeah.
So, it's all here, and I'm like, I might not do the exact same project just because I don't have tower power tools. No, just, but
But
don't be scared, people.
you do so many beautiful, beautiful work, and a lot of your work has buildings in it.
Right.
So if you took even the canvas behind you and cut a balsa foam, you could lay that on top of the canvas, and now one of the buildings comes out a little bit.
Hmm.
So why not add a few layers from the canvas to one balsa foam to two thick, chisel out some windows, and then do your phenomenal painting, and now you have a 3D relief.
Right.
Who knows?
Who
Try it.
knows? It sounds really cool. I might
But
try
then
it.
in my mind, you have to say, now behind this window is a little old lady with 17 cats, and you can't see her in the window because there has to be a story, behind everything.
Well, she's probably looking at a dragon eye and be scared
Uh,
out of her bananas. Joe, it was so wonderful talking to you again. I always enjoy our time together. Um, would you like to add something at the end? Are there any things like coming up for you want to tell us about?
Well, I hope folks check out Make It Artsy. Season 2 will start in the spring. Season 1 is probably on near you right now, so you can figure out where that is. I have a line. I'm starting to play with a new material for me, and I have a line coming out this spring that's made with that material. And I've got my reading list. This woman I know, Natalie, has got a new book coming out, and that is on my reading list. So everybody should have a reading list, and that should be on it. So those are the big things I want to share with folks.
Cool. I can't wait to see your new product. I hope I will hear more when I see you at CHA. And thank you so much, Joe, for being part of Creative Jumpstart and doing the interview with me. And happy holidays, my friend.
Happy holidays. Thanks. Do you have a pickle in your tree? I didn't ask of the pickle.
A German pickle. It's not a real German tradition, but I do have one.
Very good. You would disappoint me if you didn't have a pickle.
I know. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.